Hello, everyone. Stephen Jarvis here, host of the Jarvis Podcast, part of the Nonsensical Network, where if you're looking for more shows of the network or even the social medias, go to bio.link/the Nonsensical Network, where you will not only see this show, but on Mondays you will see Men Caring for Men. Tuesdays is Jeff's Garage. Wednesdays is What the Fuck News. Thursday is the flagship show, the Nonsensical Nonsense Show. And Sunday is, as you all know, the Jarvis Podcast. Let's go. Hey, Val. Hey, Benji. How are you doing? Today, I have Blazin', and also I have the legendary, the terrific, the handsome Peter Anthony.
That handsome, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to get shit on it for that one.
Dude, that girl hasn't called me that in forever, so I'll take it.
Facts on facts. My wife can't even call me that without laughing. It's like, yeah. So, Peter, how are you doing, man?
Good. Hey, Val. Val's the best.
Hey, Val.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday to you, too. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, even the stepmoms. Happy Mother's Day, because you're making a difference no matter what. Blazin', how are you doing?
Yes. I am running on empty. The open door challenge last night went its full 6 hours as usual, and I was up late, but I'm good. I'm excited to talk to Peter. I was back in the studio. I was telling him this was my first venture into fan films, so I got a lot to learn, a lot more to watch, and I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited. It's great meeting you, Peter.
You too, man. Hey, by the way, if you don't have the film, I'll mail you the Blu-ray with the manifest edition. Shows how we did all the kills and we put the whole movie together and everything. If you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. I gotta buy a DVD from you because Mark keeps telling me, he's like, you gotta get the DVD, and I'm like, tell Peter I'll buy one from him. He's like, oh, Peter gave me one. I'm like, oh, because you couldn't have spared a little bit of extra money to Peter.
Well, then I'll send a DVD, because now that he shames me, I'll send you a DVD and I'll send Blazin' a Blu-ray. The DVD is awesome, man. It matches the original. So Blazin', I don't know if you know, but the original Blu-ray, it looks the same. The original VHS, it looks the same. And the original with like so many things, like real quick. So the back,
Rip Dog.
The back in part 7 has one picture, all these things, and exactly this many words that starts with Every. I have the same exact amount of words that start with Every in the back.
Okay.
Everything that was the same, like the tape, the way the tape was made, the green sticker for horror, like that's our mask, our Tina, and our knife, and it's the same as the 7. So it's pretty cool.
Just for nostalgia reasons, if you have a VHS copy instead, I'd rather have that.
I don't. I sold the last one for $7.
No worries.
Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
That's mine. Yeah.
Nice.
Fair enough. I dig it though. It's like walking to an old God, was it a Movie Man that was here in Kentucky that I rented from? Walking in, horror section, green stickers and everything. It was yes.
Dude, when that came out, I have the part 7, Stephen too. I have the part 7 VHS. So I have a VHS player. So I promised myself, if whenever it came out and I was done with all this shit, that I would reward myself. So I got some scotch, $100 scotch, and I fucking drank the scotch. I watched part 7 on VHS, and then I watched Rosebud on VHS. It was like the coolest fucking thing ever.
That is cool.
Yeah. Just by myself,
I mean, hey, I'm still trying to get Alyssa into some of the fan films. Like my first ever fan film, believe it or not, was the Halloween one.
Which one? There's a bunch of them.
I don't know. It was God. I just was gonna sit down and watch it, and I was like, oh shit, it's Sunday. Interview I gotta do tonight. I think it was Nightfall or something like that.
Okay.
Right. They have Lunatic Fringe in the beginning of the movie, and they're in a warehouse.
Maybe
so
I don't know.
I gotta watch it again. It was like, I think it was a 2-parter, but then instead of releasing the second one, they took it out of circulation and then just put both together.
Oh, that's cool.
Which kind of made it a weird movie because like you get a clear ending in part 1, and then part 2, it's kind of like, it was like they're trying to do like if part 1, like John Carpenter would have been like, hey, Halloween 1 and 2, they work good separately, but I'm going to put them together because, why not?
Right.
So,
right. But it makes sense because they didn't plan it in the writing. So then when you try to stick it together, it just doesn't work right.
oh, definitely. And
Yeah.
Alyssa, I don't lie. I do not lie. My poor wife. I feel so bad for her.
What started you in horror movies? I'm curious.
I said it before as a kid, like when did I first start watching?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember it like yesterday. I used to be like 6 years old. And back then we didn't have TVs, and I'm older. I'll be 48 in I don't know 2 weeks.
I'm only a year or so behind you, so I get
Yeah.
it.
So we didn't have TVs in our room. We had one TV downstairs and one in the living room. So I'd have to like pretend to get up to go pee so that my mom knew I was up, and then I would just like sneak downstairs because we had HBO downstairs and we had the TV downstairs. So this is like, you imagine the fucking balls on a 6-year-old to go in an unfinished basement at fucking like 10, 11 at night when you're to watch horror movies, bro. That's not like normal.
No, it's not.
Yeah, and I'd be fucking scared. It's kind of like a roller coaster, but I liked it, So I don't remember which one I saw first. I don't remember if I saw 3 before 1 or 1 before 3. They all just constantly, because sometimes they play marathons too, so I don't really remember. But I just remember loving it. And I have this whole part 3 shadow box right here with the Fangoria magazine that she reads in the cot. So I got them all over the place, different ones, and I was just hooked, dude. And then like I started to lift and become like a bodybuilder kind of, and he was jacked like in 3 and stuff, that he became super strong, and so all that kind of appealed to me. That's how I started like in going to horror.
All right.
I think.
What got you into doing your own? So I just want to say this real quick before we did this. I watched the trailer for the upcoming Snow White, the Death of Snow White.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that. But what got you into diving into the being a producer and actor and writing and all that?
I was going to conventions for a little while and got to know people there. There was actually a fan film called Voorhees that I was actually part of. And then there was differences with, I was actually a producer on that. There was differences there between me and the director, and we parted ways. But Jason Brooks, I guess, was following. I was kind of marketing and promoting for Voorhees, and I got Kane Hodder to do the picture with their Jason, and that was like a big thing for the film. So I guess I didn't even know. Then I parted ways and I kind of posted on it. And then Jason Brooks, who is the Jason in Roseblood and in Vengeance and all that, he said, "Hey man, we need a marketing guy on the team. Do you want to come on the team for Vengeance?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And long story short, just really hustled. Man, I must have spent $12,000 of my own money making posters for myself to just hand out to people for free to promote. So I got like crazy with that. And then Steve Dash was supposed to be on the Chain Gang. Kane was supposed to be on the Chain Gang. Kane doesn't do non-SAG films. Steve Dash was getting older and weaker then. But since, I guess, because the effort that I'm getting in touch with them, they like, "Hey, you want to play the Chain Gang guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck, I'll do it." So I did that. They like that. Fall of Camp Blood saw my performance there, gave me the role in Fall of Camp Blood. And then all of a sudden I'm back on Vengeance 2. And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to write one myself. I wrote Roseblood in 3 days and did that, and just kind of been on a huge fucking railroad ride since.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
It was
great.
so
great meeting
cool.
fans like you guys and being on podcasts. And the other cool thing is most of you guys know horror inside and out. So it's not every day I talk to people about horror. Like there's not too many people that really know it like that, So it's cool to
well, I mean, definitely. You've been on not only on the Jarvis podcast, although it's changed names many times, but you also have been on Mark's show and a bunch of other shows. It's so cool to see the evolution of podcasting in the way that horror kind of evolved. Because you have so many different genres of podcasting, and you do your own podcast, which is a great podcast.
Thanks.
Can't say enough about it. And I forgot that in Vengeance, Steve Dash was in Vengeance Part 1.
Yeah.
But he had passed away.
He shot, so he became Officer Realotti, the real Jason. And he said the only way he could do it is if we flew to Florida. So Jason and a couple of the staff and crew flew to Florida and filmed those sheriff scenes at a local sheriff's place where he lives in Florida.
Yeah.
Now, what nobody knew is Steve was in the hospital for like circulation, massive problems, and diabetes. We didn't know that. He checked himself out of the hospital. Jason and all them stayed at his house. They shot all the scenes. Everything was great. They left. He went back to the hospital. They said, it's too late now. We have to take your leg. So they took his leg. And then 2 days later, from like complications, he ended up passing away.
Oh man.
So that was man. I'll never forget that. Jason Brooks called me like 12:30 at night. And I'm like, what's wrong, dude? It was like December something. And he's like, Steve died. And I'm like, what? And we got so close with him, you know? So that was horrible. That was horrible. But in part 2, I don't know if you saw it, Jason Brooks flew out his grandson. And his grandson in Vengeance 2 plays Sack Jason Boyd.
Yep.
His whole family was there. During that scene, they're all there crying. Everyone's pretty much crying on set. And he like handed him the reins. So Jason Brooks and Sean did that pretty class act.
Rip Dog, that's a good question. Real quick, Peter, would you like to plug your podcast?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's going to really start ramping up now. It's the Peter Anthony podcast. That's it. So I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I used to do giveaways. I used to do trivia. I've interviewed a lot of stars, stuff like that. But now I finally got new graphics and all kinds of 3D animation and stuff that are being done. Now I'm really going to start pushing that. So, and that's everything. You can find all that on Peter Anthony Productions on YouTube.
Yeah, I was just going to put that in the description.
Did Blazin', did you see Laugh's trailer?
No, I'm gonna dive more into it. So I'm really glad
Steve to pull it up. Steve, can you pull it up?
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, I've always been, I love horror movies, all the big names, Freddy, Jason, Michael. I'm really digging the new Terrifier, but
yeah.
I've always had this like place in my heart for like those old 80s low budget just thrown together movies, and because you always find those gems. And now that I've been introduced to fan films, it's like that again all over. So I'm definitely gonna watch a bunch of yours, and then I'm gonna go exploring all the Halloween ones too. All right, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, can you make it full screen? Can you make it full screen?
Yeah.
On that thing at least.
I think that's nope. Oh, come on.
That's good. That's good.
As a child, my mother would warn us of Baba Yaga, a powerful demon who would possess and devour the souls of men.
Rid yourself of your pain. Why burden your soul any further?
Oh yeah, this is already my type of movie.
Peter Collymore is in the house tonight. Let's make some fucking noise.
Collymore. It's time.
Give it to me!
You are in good hands. Sooner or later, even a good man has to choose evil.
All right.
Yeah, that thing still fires me up, dude.
It's so fucking badass. I mean, Peter, you just every time I hear Mark say, "Oh, hey, Peter's doing a new movie," it's just like,
thanks, Phil.
Fuck! It's just like, damn, I'm so proud. Like, I mean, I can't say enough about the movies you have done. Even as just an actor, it just you get it.
Thank you. That means a lot, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You
saying you get it is probably the best compliment you can give to an actor. Not all your performance is good. No, you get it. That's the best.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, they're like Blazin said, with horror, there was always Michael and them. But now you're seeing these fan films actually diving even deeper in some of the mythology. And now with Laugh, it's got a little bit for everyone.
Correct.
If you're a fan of 70s horror, it's got that. If you're a huge fan of 80s, it's got that. It's got the 90s. And that's the thing that you notice if you watch a lot of Peter's movies that he's in or he's directing, is that it's got a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to watch the Rosebud again, especially since you pointed out all those Easter eggs that I missed. I usually watch a movie for the first time for entertainment value, see if I like it or not, which I did. Then I like to pick it up once or twice or three more times because sometimes I like to really get analytical about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a few more. I got to tell you something. You give me a minute to tell you something because you're not going to get some of them. Let me give you three of them. When the Duke calls home, he talks to his wife. Do you know who his son is?
No.
His son is Julius, the boxer from Part 8. And this is before Part 8. He said, where's my son? Oh, he's boxing. Oh, he's boxing
Yeah,
again.
I did catch that, but I didn't know who it was. Okay.
Because that time didn't fit. So not only is he upset that his friend's face got taken off, remember me, Jason now kills his son, which gives the Duke, in my mind, the real premise of 9.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I wanted to feel.
Definitely.
In 9, when he hits him with the handcuffs, he says, remember me? And then in your brain as a fan, you're like, what the fuck was that? When did they meet before? So I thought that was a cool way to do it.
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
I think Blazin', if you haven't watched Vengeance 1 or 2 yet, or Fall of Camp Blood, definitely them ones are good watches too. Darcy comes back from Part 6 playing the same character of Nikki. Yeah. Although, and like when we had Darcy and Jason Brooks on, I never once thought that, you could take a shot in a motorhome like that where your face is pretty much pushed through a motorhome and still live. And like when Darcy told me that, I was kind of like, really? And then I watched it and I'm like, I could totally see it. And then of course they got Richie Ramone in there. They got Tommy McLaughlin. It's just a who's who of very amazing people.
Did she tell you how I'm the one that came up with the whole, she asked me about the death. Did Darcy tell you the whole story?
No.
Long story short, it's supposed to be Felissa Rose playing a part. And then she couldn't because she does a million films,
Yeah.
So she was on another film. So then I'm like, hey, Jason, dude, why don't we go get we didn't even know her, and I don't even know if she would have acted. Like, I didn't know anything. I was like, hey, why don't we go get Nikki from Part 6 in the RV? And then he's like, well, she died. I go, did she? Did you see her die? And he's like, no, I guess not. I'm like, bro, in this fucking series, motherfuckers come back from way crazier shit than that. Yeah. I'm like, that was just a head through like a plexiglass mirror or whatever the fuck it was. So he's like, I'm like, give her scars and do it. So then I called her and Jason said, yeah. And I called her and told her that the offer, she was like so fucking gung-ho about it. She loved it. She has super energy. She still looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I picked her up to like hold her in the air one time, celebrate. She weighs like 100 pounds. She's like this big. Yeah. So that was mad cool too. So not only that, who else is in there? One of the Pinheads is in there.
Yeah. Richie Ramone,
Rob Mello, the Happy Death Face Killer's in there.
Yep. Of which Mark and Brian just had Rob Mello when they interviewed Tommy McLaughlin.
Tom Matthews, Tommy from Part 6, CJ Graham, Jason from Part 6.
Yeah.
What's her name from Halloween 5? Tamara Glenn.
Really?
He's in it. Yeah, dude. CJ's wife, Ruby, is in it. She's one of the girls friends with Darcy.
Okay, Alyssa, that is true.
I never assumed that the antagonist is dead in a movie until they actually close that coffin, basically.
Yeah.
They always leave it open.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna spoil Vengeance for you or Vengeance 2, but just know that in Vengeance 2 there is a scene where they do cut a dude's dick off.
Kind of. Yeah.
And they donate it to some fucking dick museum in like some other country, and it's just like, good God.
It's real, right? It's real.
Yeah. Jason told us about that.
Dick museum? Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
It's called the Phallological Museum in Iceland.
Yep.
Jason went out there with Naomi, and his dick is in the fucking phallological fucking Hall of Fame with says Roseblood, or sorry, Vengeance 2, because it's a mold of his real dick, and it's fucking in there. And they went and they fucking documented it.
Nice.
Isn't that
Hell yeah.
crazy?
That is nuts, but that's awesome. Hell
I
yeah.
used to bust his balls. Like, hey, your mom must be proud, you know.
And
Fuck the Smithsonian.
so yeah, exactly. So with Laugh now, how long of a process is that going to be, and is it ready to come out soon?
No, because like my injury, so that's getting put off till 2025. We were supposed to shoot the rest of it September 9th to September 20th coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And now with this injury, I don't know what's going on, and I have tons of money on these places that I have to deposit. And like one of them is $12,000 for this place called the Palace, because the end of the movie ends at the Oscars, and this place literally looks like the Oscars. It's $12,000 for one day. So I said, dude, I got to put this off. So that was the whole gist of everything. I put it off until 2025. We have 2 movies coming out, 259 and Death of Snow White. Focus on those, shoot those, and then the whole team come back and help me, and we'll finish out Laugh. I mean, we already shot 6 days worth. And everything else is already lined up where we're going to shoot. I just got to push it off because I got to figure out the knee thing.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, just waiting for like the Death of Snow White. I know that that's been an interesting project. I mean, hell, when Mark told me about it, I was just like, the Death of Snow White, and he's like, yeah, and Sanaya.
Yeah.
Is gonna be in it. See, Mark, I can do it the first time.
And she's a perfect Snow White too. She like literally looks like Snow White. It's fucking amazing. And the other cool thing about that, what's missing about that trailer is Sean and Jason hired these guys on horses with metal cavalry and all kinds of shit and night gear and all that shit like that. That was supposed to be in that battle scene, but Seattle got hit with a huge cold freeze. Like the whole country, remember, had that huge cold wave.
Yeah,
and it was what the fuck was it? It was 3 degrees or something like that. And the horses legally cannot work under 25 or 30 degree weather. So he paid for it all, and all that shit couldn't be in there. So that scene would have been like so much more epic,
Oh, damn. Hell yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, I know Mark, he's always telling me and jibing at me with, his little spear that he's got. He's always like, hey, I got Tom Matthews on my show. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I always want to get them on my show, but then at the same time, it's just like when you have it's weird because like when they had Sinai on their channel podcast, it was just like, wow, just getting to know, how her love for everything started, and that, her dad and all that stuff too. It's just like, it is a family affair.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see her living out her dream, you living out yours, her dad and her mom living out theirs. And it's just one of those things that you keep rooting for these people, because she could honestly, just like you both being out in Hollywood, making these great movies like you already are, and Hollywood would probably be like, well, we don't know how to market this. And it's like, watch me.
Yeah, exactly. Hollywood ruins everything.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Just like now, totally Peacock, we don't know what's going on with the new Friday the 13th show on Peacock anymore, because Brian Fuller has left. So now they're looking for a new showrunner, and A24 is being tight-lipped about it. And it's like,
yeah.
And now we're not hearing anything about the new Halloween TV show that Miramax is a part of. And it's just like, it's not good for horror right now. It's really not.
No, especially Friday 13th. I mean, they haven't had a film. This is the longest drought ever.
09.
Yeah,
the remake was the last one.
Before that, it was 10 years. Between 9 and 10, or 9 years, that was the longest run. But now it's terrible. It's the worst ever.
It definitely is.
It's the best. When the fucking first one was supposed to come out in 2017, they had a couple drafts. They had 2 different drafts. One was the one where the father had the sack on. I don't know if you read that one. And then they said, remember, the reason why was because Rings came out. Rings with an S.
Yeah.
Like the third Rings. And it failed. And the studio said, well, if it failed, Friday 13th will fail. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? There's two completely different fucking fan bases. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, the convention prices went from $20 a horror person to 40. All the new costume stuff started happening for the conventions. Friday 13th, the game came out. They thought they'd sell 500,000 copies. They sold 3 million in the first day. Like, they totally misjudged the market. You know
well,
what I'm
definitely.
saying?
I mean, it's their way of trying to demonize the horror community. They did it way back, before Halloween. They did it after Halloween. They did it in the 80s. And it's the fans that have really kept horror genre going.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, hell, the last Halloween movie we got before we got the trilogy was Rob Zombie Part Halloween 2.
Right.
And a lot of people at that point, when we were hearing that we are going to get Halloween 3D, which didn't happen, then it was Halloween Returns and Halloween Vengeance or something like that. And it's just like a lot of people don't realize that it's in cycles. And we're getting near the end of the horror cycle for now, but then it'll pick up. Like I always said, you'll always know when that horror cycle is in need of a boost because Michael Myers comes back.
Yeah. But I think up until maybe this year, it was probably one of the highest ever. I mean, you got the Chucky show. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of horror things. A24 is going crazy with horror, making big films. There's a lot more. You have black directors doing films now in horror. Like horror to me, like was on TV.
Oh, Jordan Peele.
Yeah. So, to me, it was almost like the 80s again. You had more. You had video, Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, the Friday 13th the game. Like it was pretty high. Scream, new Scream series. So you had different genres all hot at once. But now I think it is a little low again. We'll see.
It is, but I think it's going to come back. Like I said, with this whole Friday the 13th, the series kind of hitting a lull. Like I had talked to Mark about it. I'm like, how much you want to bet? It's either Sean or Victor or both kind of trying to flex their muscle.
Well, the problem is how does one write without the other?
Yep.
So he can't. One has Camp Crystal Lake, the mother, and boy Jason. The other one has Friday the 13th and adult Jason. Well, how the fuck do you tell a pre-story without them both? That's fucking crazy. And what was she gonna play? Adrienne King. Adrienne King is in her 60s, almost 70. She couldn't play Alice back in the day. And is she playing Alice now? No, Alice is dead. She had the ice pick in her head. So, like, what would she have played? I don't understand. I asked her, and she didn't tell me. She wouldn't tell me.
Well, she's out now. She is out of the show now. She left.
Okay.
And supposedly, because like Mark, one day I'm on my walk and he's like, oh, it's been announced that A24 pulls the plug on Camp Crystal Lake, the series. And I'm like, well, we'll wait until I get home. And then we had all found out that was all a lie.
Yeah, I knew
it was becoming a retooling. And I was like, hey, Mark, you might want to read Bloody Disgusting because the original one you read, evidently the guy who did it doesn't know their ass from the hole in the ground and won't reveal their source. Where Bloody Disgusting, of course, did. And Mark was like, oh, well, unless someone else says it. And I'm like, Mark, go on Twitter X on A24's site. If A24 was going to cancel this, it would be all on X, and it was quiet.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I want so badly for us to get that Camp Crystal Lake series, but at the same time, like,
I'll take a regular movie over it.
Definitely. I'll take anything Friday the 13th related. It's been too freaking long.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you understand the last one, the 2009 one, made 110 million off a $30 million budget? Dude, Jason is 10,000 times more famous now.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the 2009 people that were younger that got a little taste want more. You know what I'm saying? So like, then all of us want more who are the fans from back in the day. So I think worldwide, the next one makes 300 million. Easy, because England likes it, Europe.
Yeah.
I think it makes a lot of money because people really want it.
Well, I mean, even looking back at the hold on, gotta plug in my computer.
No, you're good.
Even looking back at the trilogy of Halloween, everyone was like, well, this is Blumhouse, they're somehow gonna screw it up. Well, then we got John Carpenter back, and then people were like, well, it's still going to be messed up. And then we got Jamie Lee Curtis back, even though she was only supposed to be in one film when we first found out that she was coming back, because they had filmed 2 endings to Blumhouse's 2018. The original ending where she dies.
Yeah, they show it in the other version. Yeah.
And it's just like, to me, honestly, they should have kept that version in, because I hate to say it, I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I would love to be able to sit down and talk with her, but we had already known about the Lori story.
Right.
I mean, granted, this time around they dropped the whole their brother, sisters, cousins, next door neighbor bullshit, and we're trying to go back to the original Halloween and make it scary again. And to me, it's just like, once you got past kills and then went into ends, which ends is its own thing, I'm still not buying that they, Lori overpowered Michael that bad.
Oh, dude, 2018, it's kind of like the Star Wars last trilogy. The first one was good and set up a lot of shit, and then they fucked it up. And that's exactly 2018 was awesome, man. I liked it. He got that mask back on. Like, he was brutal, broke the guy's jaw in the fucking garage. You saw how he got the suit. Man, I fucking loved him in 18. He seemed scary again. And then Kills got fucking weird political in the beginning. And then the fucking, he's running around the hospital. The fuck guy looks like the goddamn penguin. And they think it's Michael and the fucking, the crowd and run. It's so fucking stupid.
Evil dies tonight.
Yeah, this is the dumbest shit ever. And then ends, like I said, I like to be fair, right? And trust me, I get more pissed off than anybody else. And I broke down ends, and I got home. I did it in my car live, and I'm like, listen.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I go, let me break it down as a movie maker, because now I know a little bit more, right? So I'm like, as a movie, you could put it as 7.58. And I hate when people say if you take something out, but in this instant, if you take it out that it's a Michael movie and you just played it by itself, the acting, the writing, the sound, the shots, it's an 8.5. Now, as a Halloween movie, I said it's probably one of the worst. It's probably like a 4 or 5. I said, but hold on. As a Michael film, it's a 0. If you went there to go see Michael, you're fucking ripping pissed at the series, at the creators, and I get, because all 3 of those are in me. You know what I'm saying? But I had to be fair about breaking it down. But as a Michael film, it's atrocious.
Exactly, Val. I 100% agree. My favorite part in that whole Halloween Kills is the flashback scene. How they magically just, and he's like, and I need to kill him. And all of a sudden they go to the flashback scene. You just see Michael and you hear the dun-dun, dun-dun, the old score. And it's just so fucking perfect. And they got the mask.
Loomis's voice was weird. The fact that they have all these AI voice shit and stuff like that, you couldn't get his fucking voice right. That was kind of weird. But
did Michael kill again?
He killed again.
It's like, well, no shit, he fucking killed. Well, I mean, granted, the cop shot his own partner, but at the same time, like,
yeah, but the whole reason why they're there is because he killed people. There's 8,000 cops there. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
But well, and that's the thing. Like, we watched a movie said, what a throwaway line when you're asking Hawkins, a young Hawkins, did he kill again? Yeah. Like, you couldn't even tell it wasn't Donald Pleasance until, did he kill again?
Correct.
And it's just like, wow. But no, like, me and Alyssa, we went and seen those movies in the theaters. Believe it or not, Halloween 2018 was my very first movie I actually saw at midnight in the theaters. And then Halloween Kills when that got pushed back. And then, of course, during whole COVID-19 and all that with Halloween Ends. I love the movies for what they were because massive Halloween fan. But at the same time, like, Kills could have been so much better. But them pimping out the Tommy Doyle character, them throwing a line in there of, hey, Michael, it's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare. It's like, come on, Charles Cyphers. Like, you're reading that and you're not going like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And that collage ending when he tries to kill the people in town. And the other thing, too, is it's just like Star Wars where they didn't set 2 to set another one up. So at the end of 2, in 1 and into 2, he's still human, right? But at the end of goddamn Kills, dude, when he gets shot 5 times, when he gets stabbed in the back of the head, he's no longer human. And they set that up in 2. Yet at 3, they make him the weakest ever, where a fucking band member fucking loser beats him in hand-to-hand combat. And not only that, steals his motherfucking mask and puts it on and leaves. And you're like,
oh God.
That part 2 up
Yeah.
with that with 3 doesn't make any sense. It's almost like 3 should have went first and then fucking 2. I don't.
Well, like they kind of said, the more he kills, the more he transcends. So I think when Ends came about, it was pretty much him just, he had not killed a bunch of people in a while.
I get it, but the pacing of the story doesn't work. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And I think they were trying to do a Season of the Witch, but do it how it should have been. And it's just like they missed the mark, but at the same time, like they should have ended it. Yeah. As soon as that movie was done, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the way they chopped him up with the fucking
no, like me and Mark, after I had watched it, I was like, Mark, I will die on my own hill. That is not Michael. Like if I'm making the next movie, I'd put like some other person like they fucked up.
You want to know another fucking thing that's fucking stupid? So they kill Michael in the kitchen, basically, right? Yeah. And then literally the next scene, he's tied to the fucking car. And the whole fucking town is there. So what the fuck did they do? Did she just like pick up the phone and literally call everyone? I'm not gonna leave or do anything till everybody gets here. Yeah. Like I don't understand. That scene was so. It was almost trying to be symbolic, and yet it was stupid.
Well, like we said, it turned into another PC statement.
Yeah.
That Laurie, who had kind of killed Michael, they were trying to make her the Tommy. Yeah. From Friday the 13th, but have her be the one to kill Michael. And to me, you didn't need to do that.
Right.
I mean, if anyone should have gotten that kill, I think it should have been Allison. I'll go to my death on my hill that Allison should have done it, because if you kill off the Laurie character at the end of 2018, you set up for her daughter, which they later killed off in Kills, and then you set it up for the granddaughter to finally get that ultimate revenge. And word spreads fast in a small town. Yeah.
The Laurie arc is fucked up too. Let's follow that. Yeah. So in 1, she's basically manic, right? Yep. About Michael and fucking craziness. By the way, there's a great article written about how she's the one that made the bus accident happen, and she's the one trying to kill him. That's pretty cool if you put the time together. But then she's manic, she's fucking militarized, she's nuts about killing Michael. That her daughter and her granddaughter don't believe her. And then by the end of 2, her daughter and granddaughter believe her like through the roof. She's the most trusting, sane, holy shit hero person. Yet in 3, she tells him, I don't like this guy. There's something in his eyes. He's fucking wrong. And she doesn't trust her immediately again. To me, that doesn't make sense to the bond of the characters. Am I crazy? Or
No, you're straight on.
It is just continuity.
Yeah. And I loved how people tried to describe trauma and how different it can be. And I said, Allison wasn't dealing with trauma. She was dealing with, hey, Corey's a nice looking man. I wanted to get with Corey. And at the same time, she was sick of her grandma.
Yeah.
Which, how that bond, because she was pissed off at her mom in 2018. She was on her grandmother's side in Kills, where it's like, we need to find this guy. We need to kill him. And then by Halloween Ends, she's just like, it's a delusion. Michael isn't alive anymore. Yeah. And like Laurie said, we didn't find the body.
Right. But the boyfriend in this one, who's supposed to be the somewhat anti-hero-ish kind of thing, is the one who basically ruins Allison. Yeah. So to me, that contradicts what you're trying to make the audience feel about him. Me too. He accidentally didn't mean to kill the kid. He's actually a good guy. We're going to root for him because they want you to be fooled by the end. You know what I'm saying? But yet, when he's that cancer, even though I thought that relationship worked pretty well on film, it take away from, again, the arc of the story. I don't, that bothered me.
Well, like, that's why I say the novelizations of those books or those movies are better.
Yeah. Well, not better than 1.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I ended up once they said they were re-releasing the very first novelization of Halloween, the 78 version. I was like, I need to get that.
Yeah.
And I got it sitting down. I was reading through it, and I got to the part where Laurie is gonna drop the key off at the Myers place, and And I was just like, God, just the way they talk about it and how they talk about Michael's time and Smith's Grove and all that. It's so cool. And hopefully one day, if we do get the TV series, we get that version.
I'm glad you said novelization because to me, there's pros and cons of novelization.
Yeah.
The greatest thing about novelization is your imagination. So all three of us could read the book. We have Loomis looking three different ways if we didn't see the movies. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that are cool. But to me, Loomis, man, with that voice and that acting performance, you cannot get that in the book.
No.
The way he comes across as a police officer, your granddad, a hero, a smart scientist. He comes off like everything at once, you know, the way he performed it. And I don't think you get that in the book.
Well, Donald Pleasance, I don't care if they could find another guy that could be Dr. Loomis, because they've been talking about wanting to bring the character back in future.
People want me to play him in a fan film.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Maybe. I was a lot fatter back then too. I think that's why. Yeah.
I mean, there's people out there that were like, oh, too bad we didn't get the Christopher Lee one. And I was just like, that would just be another British horror movie.
Yeah.
And that's why they were getting it. Yeah. And that's why, and plus, I hate to say it, you would have had a taller Loomis over Nick Castle.
Yeah. And there's another continuity thing. In Halloween 1 and 2, the Rob Zombie ones, I liked 1. I loved 1. People don't like 1. I fucking loved 1. But then 2 is a fucking atrocious. You took Laurie in 1 that was like, you know, you rooted for her. Then you made her a crazy, badass, lunatic fucking nutball fucking in 2. But the worst is fucking Loomis. You cannot break the fucking blueprint that is Loomis. Why would you? And in 1, it works great. And in fucking 2, he's writing his own books for himself. He's a selfish fucking asshole. All he cares about is money. He's the fucking exact opposite of that. He hangs out Laurie's fucking house for 20 fucking hours just to save her life. He doesn't even know her. You know what I'm saying? Like that they fucked him up in that too. That's what bothered it for me.
I agree.
2 is definitely 2. I think I agree. The first one was good. The Rob Zombie remake, I was excited for it because I've seen other Rob Zombie projects in the past, and when it comes to horror and the way his mind thinks, it's pretty good. But when the second one hit, it's like, did you go off the drugs or something? What the fuck?
Yeah. The mother with the white horse and what the fuck is that?
Well, the studio,
it turned into a bad acid trip at the end. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The studio had fucked so much with his mind, and that's why he didn't want to come back for Halloween 3. Because they wanted him to do Halloween 3, and he's like, the only way I'm doing Halloween 3 is you allow me to put a gun to my head after it's done. Because that's what he had pretty much had told them. You were putting a gun to my head and saying, you're going to make our Halloween movie. You're not going to make the movie that people are going to actually want to watch. That's why the unrated versions, even though the unrated version of the first remake with the whole orderlies doing their thing, kind of, that part always got to me. It's like, okay, so you're going to have these orderlies go in, rape this girl, and yet Michael's more pissed off about them touching the masks. So it's pretty much a throwaway scene.
Yeah, but that fits a Rob Zombie movie to me, you know, just fucking craziness like that. It don't make sense. But I just don't like his choices. I don't like Michael talking at the end. The fuck is that? I don't like his beard and the mask showing a lot of his beard, even though he's a badass dude, the real guy. Like, I don't want to see that. It just doesn't work for me, you know.
Well, even in Ends, when they had Michael's, you know, mask fully decayed and all that stuff, it was still believable.
Yeah, that it was a mask. Yeah.
Like,
I don't want. He says a word at the end, doesn't he? When like the lightning crashes and shit. I think he says her name. Almost positive on it. I haven't seen it in a while, but
in the second one,
in the
remake,
in the end when the helicopter's above him and the
Ori or something, or I think he tells Loomis die or something.
Something.
It's been so long since and granted, I try and skip remakes sometimes. Granted, I really love the Friday the 13th 2009 remake.
What do you got for best remakes? What do you guys got? I got fucking Evil Dead, bro. Evil Dead fucking
I like that.
The remake one. That was
yes.
awesome, dude.
It was good. I was completely shocked. I was thrown away. I was like,
Phenomenal, dude.
damn. Yeah,
Phenomenal.
it was awesome. Yeah.
Because
I,
I
I
see the
I have
theory.
yet to see Rise.
Yes.
I have yet to see the newest one.
No, not Rise. Rise is okay, but nowhere as good as the one before.
Was
Oh,
that like
with
a
Alvarez?
prequel or something?
Yes.
Why is that in? Okay, yeah.
Alvarez's one was the very first remake they did, and then Evil Dead Rise is the newest one they tried to do. But granted, now we may get a certain character coming back if they can get Sam Raimi to direct. Bruce Campbell has stated he will unretire Ash if they allow Sam Raimi to direct the next movie, because we're already getting another Evil Dead.
He said he was done with it like 5 years ago. He said he was done with it. So
yeah, but with Bruce Campbell, like, I mean, there was so many chances we could have got. And Ash versus Evil Dead, the series was
great, dude.
I love that show.
That was a good show to watch.
Ashy slashy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good sit back and just laugh because the campiness was there. Bruce Campbell just brings that to,
plus what's her name?
to all his roles.
What's the girl's name? Kelly? What's her real name?
Oh, his daughter.
The girl in the show. It's her and the Spanish kid, Kelly. And
Dina or Dana De Laurentiis.
Dana De Lorenzo. Yeah, I seen her at Monster Mania, bro. Huge crush. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And we were talking and stuff like that. She's like, again, I have a thing for little girls, little skinny, not like that, little skinny girls. And she's just so fucking tiny, bro. So tiny when I like held her and shit like that. And I think I said something to her. I flirted with her. I got like a photo op with her too. But she makes the movie go for me too. But that series, well, third season got a little weaker, but man, fucking that series as a whole is it's just as good as the films, if you ask me.
Got me into the song Space Trucker.
Stopped it.
Yeah.
Well, and the season 4 was actually supposed to have them go into the whole Army of Darkness realm.
Okay.
Because it was setting that up when they were in the car, and he plays the Space Trucker song, which as soon as I heard that song, I'm like, this is definitely going in my playlist.
Yeah.
So I got a question, since you're, obviously Jason Voorhees fans. What is your opinion of the one where he's in outer space?
Jason X.
Yes, that's the one. I know that one gets a lot of grief. I mean,
I get a lot of love now, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
So good question. I don't like it.
Okay.
And here's how you know that it's not good is because people say, and I agree with them, you could put it in and have fun with it. Yeah, you're fucking right. You're fucking right. You could put it in and have fun with it. And now that you know it's not serious, you don't take it serious. So then you enjoy those filters. But I said, let me try to explain to you. This is kind of like to younger people where we are right now. So right now we're waiting for a Jason movie, right? We're so fucking pumped. We're so excited. Can you fucking imagine if Jason X came out right now? How pissed everybody would be off.
Yeah.
That's how fucking pissed off I was when it came out.
Jason X too.
Yeah, I wanted a real motherfucking Part 7 Jason killing crazy motherfucker, and I got that fucking Power Ranger outfit, goddamn bullshit on the Sci-Fi Channel. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, God.
I agree. You could put it in probably over 9 and like it more and have fun, but it ain't Jason no more. It's a cartoon.
It's not canon, obviously. If you watched it as a standalone, to riff it as you're watching it, it's fine. But yeah, it's.
Guys, he just wanted his machete back. And then the fucking girl, the robot telling stupid dad jokes. Like, what the fuck is going on? The dude was making out with her, I think. I'm like, what? This, yeah. And the outfits they're wearing, it's so 1990 Sci-Fi Channel shit.
It's Jason meets Farscape. It was,
yeah.
Well, and that's the sad thing about, Jason X and all that. I mean, even Freddy versus Jason, great movie. But I mean, it had to take its time.
Yeah.
I mean, you still had Robert Englund, which was nice. But honestly, the Jason we wanted was frickin' Kane Hodder. Thank you.
Yeah. And the outfit looked like shit. And they gave him like this metallic skin. And they gave him that one lazy dead eye. And then his kills were cartoonish, like when they cut the dad's head off on the deck and it was like spraying and shit.
Yeah.
That was Freddy gets one kill in that. That movie was shot. That's $100 million movie. Looks great. Everything's phenomenal. They just messed the story up.
Oh, absolutely they did. And they had, I think they had so much anticipation, so many people wanted to watch it that's what killed it because
Yeah.
it didn't meet the fans' expectations of how what that movie should have been. The potential was there, and it just
You want to know how you
nothing.
know that a film is good or not? This is the easiest trick with Friday the 13th. Do you remember and care about the characters? Now, let's go to the movies that you don't give a fuck about the characters. Jason goddamn X. You don't give a shit if any one of those motherfuckers dies. There's no character building in between any of them. Part 8 is also the fucking same with that. Like, you don't give a flying fuck. Now look at the best films. 6, 2, 3, 4. So 7, like, you know exactly who's who, the characters are established and everything. To me, you could always tell the shittier film by you don't care about the characters. Even 2009, I don't like the characters.
Okay, Steven, where'd you go?
Be right back. Gotta reset my camera.
Fair. He see, there he is. Yes. This is Steven's element, so I'm glad you're back. I was just gonna ask you,
Shoot.
kind of break away from the movie scene, but like let's go back on the set. What was your I guess your most favorite day on set? And I asked because someone had mentioned that you tell great stories, so I'm kind of trying to find a good story. And my element stories, not so much horror flicks as much as Steven's. So
All right, so that's a great question, man. Best day on set. So many different days and so many things. Correct, Val.
yeah.
I'll tell you the most giddy and happy I was as a kid. You want that one?
Sure, hell yeah.
Okay, so we're in the room and it's Lar Park Lincoln and Terry Kaiser reprising their roles as oh my God, Tina and Dr. Cruz. And by the way, Steven, talk again. I don't know if we can hear you.
Tina and Dr. Cruz.
You sound far away, just so you know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But in that room, Blazin, if you look at the back of the wall, that's the real fucking items from Part 7. I went and got the train poster, the Challenger shuttle, all the pictures on the wall, all the items in the room are the exact items that were in the movie.
Oh, fucking dope, dude.
Yeah,
hell
bro.
yeah.
So now I'm sitting there, I'm in the room, and it's Terry and Tina, and I'm in there while they're directing, doing the takes. And I'm like, it like hit me that I couldn't fucking believe what was going on. I'm like, how the fuck am I directing these people? I'm telling them how to be Tina and Dr. Cruz. Like, what? It was crazy. So then we had to take like a break. And I go, all right, 2 minutes, let's take another take. And I was like, oh, Mr. Directory, right? And I opened the door, and outside is called Video Village. It's where all the screens are. Everybody's watching everything. And I come out and I go, can you fucking believe this shit? They're in there right now. Yeah. Close the door. I go, all right, let's get back to work, everybody. They have that on the behind the scenes somewhere. I was like so excited, like a little kid,
Hell yeah.
That was a good time.
Good.
Well, I mean, yeah, you definitely had what you wanted. I mean, like you said, that is a continuation of 7.
Yeah.
And 7, yeah, 7 is your favorite film.
And
And
when people say I put in 7 than yours, like right after, I'm like, oh man, that's fucking great.
and that's the way it should be. I mean, I've told Peter this many times, in between the numerous injuries that he's gotten on set fighting Jason.
Yeah.
Still manages to survive for all you Jason aficionados out there. He's the only one that hasn't been killed, even though suffering torn pec.
4 tendons off my shoulder, my right bicep tore my pec, dislocated my shoulder. That's fall camp blood on one take.
Yeah.
You do your own stunts, I'm assuming then.
Say again, Blazin?
I said you do your own stunts.
Yeah, but I just have this. It's a long story. I've had 40 surgeries. I somehow get hurt doing like I could like fight 5 guys right now and it'd be cool, and then I'll go in the shower and like pull my fucking back out. So
that's age. That's age catching up to us.
Yeah. So I just had my 40th surgery a couple months ago.
Dude, Blazin, I don't care if it's age or not. This motherfucker is taking on fucking Jason. It's not age, it's life choices.
Yeah.
It's every one of those people that, like, even Julius, when he's boxing Jason and Jason takes Manhattan, after a while, Julius probably looked at the camera guy and said, you know what? Screw this. I don't want to be Muhammad Ali. Take my head off.
Dude, I just saw him at New Jersey Horror Con. Obviously, saw the picture. So I'm with Julius because he did a shout out for Roseblood, because I told him what the character, how he played into the movie. He's like, that's great. So he did a shout out for Roseblood. And when I showed up, he recognized me. And I was like, hey, man, what's going on? Me and him took a picture with the boxing. And then Kane came over and punched me in the face. So there's a picture online where I'm like stuck like this. That just like happened a couple weeks ago.
I agree. I agree. It is. And to all the haters out there, still won awards. Won a lot of fucking awards.
It did. You're not going to be successful without haters. So.
Well, exactly. Like, I know Mark one time said, gosh, there's so many haters of Peter's films, and I'm like, he's doing something right.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it comes from one source. You know that.
Yeah.
Story that still goes on today. So.
And
yeah, but it is what it is. Like, hey, so if I self-evaluate, right? Aren't we making fun of films right now in the canon? So I got to be able to take. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I want to say, dude, that's $50,000. What do you want me to fucking do? Yeah. It's not like I have $100 million. Give me $100 goddamn million. Yeah, I'll make.
Well, and that's the thing. None of these people understand is that you're putting your own hard-earned money into this. It's not Hollywood doing it. It's you guys. It's Jason Brooks for Vengeance. It's you for Roseblood. It's you and Riley for Fall of Camp Blood. It's not supposed to be a Hollywood produced movie, and that's what makes it good and original.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question did you see Fall of Camp Blood or no?
Not yet. I'm watching it tonight though. There's a lot more I got to watch tonight. But yeah,
Steven, for Fall Camp Blood, I mean, that's a lower budget than Rosebud and Vengeance. Yeah. But I thought, I want your opinion on this. I thought it had such a great campy feel. I thought like Riley did the best of all the fan films. For me, that seems like so campy 80s.
You know what scares me with Fall of Camp Blood? I literally, when I watched it, and I don't know if I told Mark this, but I'm like, the only thing that was missing was Felicia Rose's Angela. Because it had kind of like a sleepaway camp type vibe to it as well.
Yeah.
And like, if they could ever get a sleepaway camp fan film made with Felicia Rose, like, oh man, I have such a crush on Felicia Rose. Great, tremendous actress. That ending scene from Sleepaway Camp, the first one, totally.
She ever tell you that story of what that was and the kid?
I've watched interviews she's done, but at the same time, like, I think if I ever got her on this show, which I need to try to. I know Tom Matthews on Talking Shit one time said, hell, I'd love to be on Steven's show, even though Mark was kind of gorging him into it.
Yeah.
I gotta interview so many of these great people, because it's just like I told Mark, I said, he may love Friday the 13th, but I said, you know what? I mean, Friday the 13th and Halloween, I'll be that one to die on the hill. They're neck and neck.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason had the cooler kills. Michael was the more your Agent 47 hitman type killer at one point. But I mean, if they could ever somehow get those two movies to come together and it's Michael versus Jason, I'd take my money.
That would have been Rosebud too.
Oh, take my money, Peter.
Okay.
Take it. I don't care if I go in debt.
Did you see the post-credit scenes, Blazin?
Yeah.
Okay. You saw the Savini Jason?
What's that?
You saw Savini Jason?
So Savini,
no, I guess I didn't.
Savini Jason was a character in the Friday the 13th, the video game created by Tom Savini.
Yeah.
And he shows up at the end.
At the end of the credits, if you watch it, it says one more. I thank the fans for everything they did. And then I had a Savini costume that I made from scratch that I was in a thing, but I gave it to Jason Brooks and he wore it. So at the end, there's an extended scene where you see him in hell. The Savini Jason all fiery and fucking nuts, and it says to be continued.
Ooh, no, I did not see.
Yeah, that's a great shot too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The day you announce Roseblood 2, Peter, is I'll be like, you need to come back. Well, you're always welcome on the show. You know that, Peter, and because my first ever interview was Peter, and when Mark's phone or whatever blew up, me and Peter started talking about wrestling and all that. And
that's right. By the way, I talked to Daniel Harris about Rosebud too. We actually took a picture. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So I talked to her about it. So
let's go.
Yeah, I got to get the money, so I got to finish these. You know?
Yeah,
If
oh,
you want to give me
definitely.
money, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, like I always tell Mark's like, I want to act in Peter's movies, and I'm just like, Peter can kill me in the first second, and I'll be happy with that.
Dude, whenever I get parts like that of a Jason film, most real Jason fans, when you say, "Hey, you're going to be in the movie," the next question is, "How do I die?" They get like super excited, just like me, about how I'm going to die. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you know what? Our hour is up, Peter. Thank you so very much, man. Hope you keep getting better. Can't wait to see
a lot.
Laugh. Can't wait to see The Death of Snow White.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Anything you want to plug, Peter? Your
No, man.
channel, your podcast, anything, man. Go
Just
ahead.
thank you. Yeah, it's just Peter Anthony pretty much everywhere. It's the Peter Anthony on Instagram, Peter Anthony on Facebook, Peter Anthony Productions on YouTube, and then you can see Laugh on there, and so on and so forth. And that's it. I just want to say thank you, Ben. I was pretty much the lowest of lows for the last like 3 days after the
Yeah.
knee thing. Still pretty fucking low, just not showing it. So thank you for asking me to come on, because it was a little bit of a fucking therapy that I could have with you guys to be like
Anytime,
normal.
Peter. Anytime you want to come on, you know you're more than
I
welcome,
enjoyed
brother.
it.
Thanks.
It was great meeting you. Yeah, thank you.
Too, man.
Thank you again.
All right, man. I'll see you guys.
See you later. And that is Peter Anthony. So Blazin, how was that for an interview, brother?
Man, you were in your element. I have to applaud you. I shut up most of the time, and you know me. I
Yeah.
love hearing myself talk, but it was good to see you in your element talking
Well,
horror movies, man. Like I
Peter,
I thought I was a horror movie fan, but my mind was just blown. So I appreciate you.
you know, Peter is such a great interviewee. You know, he doesn't have the one word answers. He gives you the answers that that blow you away.
Mhm.
You know, and Peter, I know you're probably still out there listening. Thank you so much, brother. You don't know how much that helped me with my confidence getting back into the whole interviewing guests. And we'll still do more of the same stuff of, you know, the reviewing movies, TV shows, all that. We'll have guests come on, which actually next Sunday I will have another guest on the show.
Ooh, are you gonna give us a hint?
That is going to
A
be
little
Rock
bit.
Lee. That is Rock Lee.
Ah, Rock
And we
Lee.
are going to
Hell
be
yeah.
talking about our favorite video games
Okay. All right.
because Rock Lee is actually a gamer, not just a music guy.
All right.
And then
Yep.
the Sunday after that, we will have Brett from Good Real Hunting on the show, and it's gonna be amazing. You know, we're
Awesome.
all in with this whole network thing. I can't believe all the great people that are part of the network. Which, if you are looking for other great shows like this, I'm kidding. My show ain't that great. It's just the people that are on it that are
Really.
great, like Blazin, everyone else. You know, not me.
I'm flattered, but I think you're giving me way too much credit here.
But if you're looking for all our social medias, go to bio.link/the Nonsensical Network. I don't know, they might have changed it, so I should ask. Click on that. Where every day of the week from the Nonsensical Network, we have shows. Monday is the Men Caring for Men, which is a men's mental health show, breaking down the stigma that, you know, hey, only certain people deal with mental health. No, that is false, actually. Right, Blazin? We all deal with mental health
Yes.
struggles.
Oh, yes. Mental health is important. I think everybody, regardless if you think your mental health is good or not, see a therapist. Talk about it.
Tuesday is Jeff's Garage. Wednesday is What the Fuck News, where surprisingly last week I didn't have a major blow up. I was very proud of myself. I thought very good on that one. Of course, no one else ever commended me on it. Uh, Thursday, the talking shit with Mark and Brian, you know, assholes that they are. Love you guys. Friday is Glick's House of Music. He had a very good interview this last Friday with the Southern Outlaws band. That was great show. Saturday is the flagship show, the Nonsensical Nonsense, and Sunday come back for the Jarvis podcast or the Jaravishi project, as we sometimes like to call it. Blazin, what do we always say when we go to end the show?
Um, uh, I don't know. Hashtag sign off.
I love it. Come back next Sunday as we will be interviewing Rock Lee, talking about our favorite video games. Hopefully Blazin will join us. Hopefully some other people might join us too, get off their lazy asses even though it's Sunday.
I have to check my schedule. I'm sorry. Dude, I totally
No,
forgot today
you're
was
good, man.
Mother's Day. Like I said, last night. So Saturday nights, guys. I love Saturday nights because I get to hear myself talk and joke and bust people's balls, get my balls busted. Saturday nights are awesome. It's also when I let the bourbon flow a little, and last night I let it flow a little bit too much. So it was a rough day, but I woke up afternoon. I was like, shit, it's Mother's Day, but I fired up the grill. I did some ribs, corn on the cob, and all that good shit. So it was a good day, and then I get to end it right here, and then I'm gonna go watch some movies. I got some fan films to catch up on, and
Let's go.
now yes, and now that I'm familiar with fan films, I'm a huge Freddy Krueger guy. Like
They do
Michael
have
Ross,
Freddy.
Jason,
They do.
yes. So I'll have to
Um,
go find some of those.
I don't know if you ever watched My Bloody Valentine.
A while back, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, they had one back in the 80s and then of course the remake. But they actually did a fan film on it called Valentine's Bluff, I think it is. And it actually connects both the stories together. It's really good.
Oh, okay. I'll have to do that. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, I'll
So
shut up so we can sign
we
off.
will see
I'll
you
keep going.
next Sunday where we will have Rock Lee on the show. We will be talking about our favorite video games. I got to nail the time though on that. So we here at the Jarvis podcast want to say happy Mother's Day to all you mothers, including the stepmothers, because you're making a difference in some child's life. Don't ever think just because you're the stepmom doesn't mean you're the real. It doesn't make you any less. It doesn't. You're helping out someone.
That's sweet. I dig it.
It is. So we will see you all next Sunday, and we are out. Hold on, I gotta play my outro. Shit.